Holland, disappointing. How about Belgium? Oh, you're here. Well, I'm ready. No team dominates for 90 minutes. Nobody's really superior to another one. So little details count. And I know that history will tell you that the winners deserve to win and they were brilliant, etc. But think of this. Malen had this chance against Balague, the Czech goalkeeper. Scores, different story would have been possibly. He doesn't. And De Ligt in the next move gets sent off. And of course the story would say that the Czech Republic were better than Holland. Actually they were. But another game, Guerreiro, minute 85 against Belgium and hits the post. Goes in. We could have had a different story. Portugal deserved more. Didn't have the look that they had in the last Euros. And they're out against a Belgium side that after scoring, all they did was mostly defend. What's going on with the Netherlands? They've been out of the last two tournaments, 16 and 18, and knocked out in the last 16 in these European Championships. And yet, Dutch players are considered some of the most valuable in the market. Why? I think there is a lot of marketing involved in that. Eden Hazard had a good second half against Portugal. He gave oxygen to the side. Belgium was defending very deep. They were far away from the rival box and Hazard kept the ball and allowed the team to push on a little bit, and then he got injured. I wrote a long story for the BBC in which I explained that every time he's been asked to be the best player in the world and sit in the same table as Messi and Ronaldo, his brain just blew up, and his body also. He wants an easy life. He wants small chapters in which to get involved in. Of course, the last World Cup, for instance. And his career has meant that when he had to pick, he hasn't been allowed because it's not in him. And Sarri will tell you that, Conte will tell you that, Mourinho will tell you that. But what's true as well in the last 2 years, he's been very unlucky with injury. It's just that if you haven't trained properly for many years, when you get to your 30s, you suffer, don't you? I think that's what Hazard has gone through, and sadly I don't think we're going to see him the rest of the tournament. Croatia, Spain. Three things to say about it. First of all, tactically, Spain hopes that Croatia keep the ball and want to build from the back and be protagonists. That's what Croatia is about, because then the style of Luis Enrique finally will make sense. Against teams that defend very deep, it's very hard, no spaces. Against teams like Croatia, if they decide to play and go forward, we can steal the ball and then use that spaces and the pace of Morata, of Sarabia, of Gerard Moreno. That's where Luis Enrique has been hoping that Spain can make a difference. And this could be the game in which that happens. Secondly, Morata has been talking about being abused on social media, getting insults to his wife and to his kids. And that made me think, I've got this theory of why it's very difficult to eradicate abuse in social media, because we are all trolls. And I know it's a very dim view on mankind, if you like, but we are all trolls. It's just that some have the ability to create a mechanism, mental mechanism, in which you just don't go and troll others. But that temptation is always there. It's in us. That's why it's very difficult to eradicate. You can stop 1 or 2 or 100 or 1,000, but it's in us. So you cannot get rid of it fully or completely. Meanwhile, think twice about insulting anybody on social media. What's the point? And think of how they receive it. Is it fair? Last point, how is it possible that a nation like Croatia with 4 million people actually can be so successful since their independence in 1990, since been appearing in the football scene in 96, Euro 96, since then they've been in 5 Euros and 5 World Cups, and they had Modric as best player of the world perhaps, won the Ballon d'Or of course, they were runners-up of the World Cup. In the last 9 Champions League, the winning side had 1 Croat in the squad, and generally they've been producing so many good players. How does that happen? Well, they come from the Yugoslav school of football that mixes intelligence, the tactical side, the technical side, and the physical side as well. They're strong players too. All that put together in the right hands create really good players with a strong sense of community, of actually fighting for a cause from a country. And I know that all the small countries have that feeling, that national feeling. Scotland has got 5.4 million people, but they lack these other things, that other coaching and that mixture of physique and intelligence and tactical side with really is what puts Croatia ahead of the rest. That will be the team that makes life difficult for Spain. But I will not doubt ever again on Spain and Luis Enrique. He wants us to believe that we're going to beat Croatia, so we will. Fingers crossed.